Russia and Ukraine trade strikes as Moscow beach drone attack kills 7. Iran rebuffs the United States over stalled peace talks as President Trump knocks Tehran. And Nigeria seeks China's support on marine economy development. This is the World News on AIT. I am Shola Jaisimi, and you're welcome. Now let's begin the news with the war between Russia and Ukraine. Both sides have been trading blame as a drone hit a busy beach in southern Russia, killing 7 people, including 3 children. And the counterattack led to the death of 4 people in southern Ukraine.
The governor of the Krasnodar region said the total number of injured reached 40, with 17 people taken to hospital. He accused Ukraine of a deliberate strike on civilians. Ukraine has not commented. Both sides deny targeting civilians deliberately. It is unclear what the drone was targeting. Some Ukrainian Telegram channels have claimed it crashed onto the beach as a result of electronic warfare, which jammed the drone signal. Several eyewitnesses were quoted by Russian media as saying gunfire preceded the explosion, indicating that air defense may have tried to shoot the drone down. St. Petersburg Regional Governor Alexander Drozdenko said early on Tuesday, a warehouse facility was hit by drones near Russia's second biggest city. Russia, meanwhile, has launched attacks on residential areas and cities from the start of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, killing and injuring thousands of civilians. On Saturday, 9 people were killed and dozens injured in Russian ballistic missile strikes on Kyiv, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The city's mayor said a residential building in a district was partially destroyed, trapping people inside. Last week, a strike on a building in Ukraine's Kryvyi Rih area killed a family of 10. In recent weeks, Ukrainian strikes have in particular targeted warehouses belonging to White Berets, a large online retailer dubbed the Russian Amazon. The largest strike hit a warehouse in the Vladimir region, east of Moscow, overnight into Monday.
And to give some perspectives to this situation between the war between Ukraine and Russia is a journalist, Anna Basova. Anna Basova joins me from Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital. Anna, so this back and forth between Russia and Ukraine, Russia has accused the Zelensky government of acts of terror targeting children. How is the Ukrainian, establishment reacting to this?
Hello, Shola. Of course, Ukraine denied deliberate targeting children at the beach, and it's absolutely obvious. But if you want to hear the objective arguments from me, not advocating Ukraine, as I'm also Ukrainian, I can say that Ukraine has a limited number of drones, of missiles, and of each and every kind of weapon. And if we step aside from the moral side of the situation, we simply have no reason and no need to waste valuable weapon to kill some Russian children. This is what can serve as an objective argument, though I'm pretty sure even from a human personal point of view that Ukraine will never target children just to kill children, even if they are Russian children. In turn, I can provide you with a video that happened today in Kherson, in the city of Kherson, that is under Ukrainian control, but is being constantly fired by Russians from the temporarily occupied territories from the left Dnieper bank. A man standing in the street and selling fruit. And Russians just targeted him with a drone, and it is vivid on the video that they are trying to hit this man, to kill this man, to shoot him with a drone. And they shoot him, and he survived, luckily. But this was a kind of a human safari, what they are doing. So back to the point of targeting somewhere on the beach, I can admit that this could have been a kind of radioelectronic countermeasures taken from the Russian side, that they targeted the Ukrainian drone on people. Because I'm pretty sure there are military objects, not on the beach, but somewhere close, probably ports, transporting oil or transporting some warfare goods. But I give you 100-200%, Ukraine didn't shoot children and civilian people deliberately.
Basova, they're giving me the perspectives from the Ukrainian authorities on this incident at the beach in Ukraine. Anna, thank you for joining me on the news.
Thank you.
Okay, let me bring in somebody who is a geopolitical communication expert. He lectures at the RUDN University in Moscow, Dr. Jamil Mohammed. Dr. Mohammed, this back and forth between Russia and Moscow with regards to communication, the propaganda war, what's your assessment of it, sir?
Thank you very much for having me once again. And I say good afternoon to Nigerians and wherever they are also watching us. Sincerely, like I do say, and I think even the last time during my appearance here, I said it, one, just because I am a communicator, and as an African and Nigerian who is in between the two of them, I can see when Anna mentioned the case of moral standing, we should say that there shouldn't be justification, but the current politics of the world, the imbalance, when everyone is trying to win narrative, or narrative of winning the war through information war, is a very big problem for us that makes it hard for us to trust or believe any of the sides. So I'm not going to say whether it is for Russia or whether it is for Ukraine, but what is obvious when we talk about geopolitical communication of this era that is we are in now is that everyone is using a very strong information warfare to win. They are looking at a story that will suit their own. So it is no more about even finding peace. It's about who owns the communication and information, which is a very big problem, a very big one. So if one is saying that this person attacked me or they attacked the children, who says that they cannot? Or do we say that someone, a particular head of a particular country, will decide to just bomb their own children by themselves in order for them to win narrative? Again, like I said, it could happen within, like many people have also argued about the fact that many things that happened, the massacres, series of them within Ukraine, many have also argued that there were things that were done by the governments of Ukraine themselves in order for them to win narrative. So if we should look at how some will also say, how will Ukraine be able to have enough of this capacity when we all know that many other Western governments are supporting Ukraine, giving them the necessary support in many ways. So we cannot say they do not have capacity. And we cannot say that Russia could do this or they cannot. What I know very well about what is going on now is the fact that everyone are trying to win narrative. Instead of using communication to solve the problem, that should rather be a kind of a tool for peace. It's rather being used in another way around, so which is very unfortunate.
Dr. Jamil Mohammed, a lecturer at the RUDN University in Moscow. Thank you for giving us your perspectives.
Thank you.
Let's move now to Asia, where South Korea's Interior Ministry says summer heat has killed 16 people as the nation swelters in a wave of searing weather. Between May the 15th and Sunday, over 2,000 people have suffered heat-related illnesses. South Korea's heat record has been broken 3 times over the past week, with the latest all-time high set at 42.5 degrees Celsius in the city of Yangon on Sunday. The weather agency said in a statement on Tuesday that extreme life-threatening heat is forecast. The highest level temperatures forecast are expected to soar to close to 40 degrees Celsius. Wildfires in the south of France have revealed a cache of 400 historic shells and munitions in a village. According to the local fire commander, the blast during the fires, initially thought to be exploding gas cylinders, may have been World War II explosives detonated by heat. Operations have now seen most residents return to their homes. However, the mayor has said certain areas are still off limits. More than 180 houses in the area were destroyed by the wildfire. The historic weapons were both German and French, included mortar shells and anti-tank shells, according to French media. The discovery comes after a forest fire ravaged the Grande area, which has now been brought under control after burning for about 10 days. The leader of the Iranian-linked group Hezbollah has said that he had no objection to meeting with Syria's leadership, the first time he has expressed such a stance after his group was ousted in 2024. Qasem said in a televised address emphasizing, quote, the importance and necessity of positive, fraternal, cooperative relations.
Hezbollah for years fought in support of longtime Syrian ruler Bashar al-Assad in the country's civil war, and Syria served as a key supply route to Lebanon from Iran before the new authorities seized power in December 2024. In a significant political development, Hezbollah's deputy leader, Naim Qassem, has publicly declared that his group has no objection to meeting with Syria's new authorities. This marks the first time Hezbollah has openly expressed willingness to engage with Damascus since the ouster of longtime ruler Bashar al-Assad in December 2024. The statement highlights a potential shift in regional alliances and signals Hezbollah's intent to adapt to the new political realities in Syria. Speaking in a televised address, Naim Qassem emphasized the importance and necessity of positive, fraternal, cooperative relations with Syria's current leadership. His remarks suggest Hezbollah is seeking to re-establish ties and secure its logistical lifelines, while also maintaining influence in the evolving Syrian political landscape. This overture could reshape dynamics across the region. Iran's position will be pivotal. Lebanon's internal politics may feel the ripple effects, and Syria's new rulers must decide whether to embrace or distance themselves from Hezbollah's outreach.
We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more for you on the world news.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
You're welcome back to the World News. The United States President Donald Trump said negotiations with Iran were ongoing despite Tehran's denials. The American leader has said the Islamic Republic was facing what he called a last chance before decapitation. Trump told reporters at the White House that he agreed to continue to pursue talks with Iran at the request of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and some other countries.
Tensions between Washington and Tehran remain high, as both sides offer conflicting accounts of behind-the-scenes diplomacy. Iran's foreign ministry has denied that negotiations with the United States are underway. But President Donald Trump insists direct talks are taking place, saying, "We are talking right now." He described the negotiations as Iran's last chance to reach an agreement before what he called a decapitation. According to Trump, discussions are centered on reopening the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz and securing Iran's denuclearization. He claimed the waterway could reopen as soon as tomorrow, while acknowledging that a nuclear agreement could take longer. Iran, meanwhile, says its negotiations are with Oman, focusing solely on securing safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqi rejected claims of direct talks with Washington. The Strait of Hormuz remains the central flashpoint in the conflict since the collapse of a ceasefire. Iran has resumed its blockade of the critical shipping lane, obstructing commercial vessels and reportedly firing in ships attempting to pass. Regardless of Iran's public statement, he also highlighted the United States counter-blockade of Iranian ports, declaring that no goods would enter or leave Iran unless a deal or what he called total surrender is achieved.
Now let's head to Washington now, where we have a governance expert, Adewale Dada. He joins me from there to give perspectives on this war between U.S. and Iran. Mr. Dada, good morning to you at your end. Thank you for coming on. Okay, so the back and forth between these two nations, this war now, casualties on both sides, almost about 21 American soldiers now, thousands of Iranians have been killed. And Iran is insisting that, look, President Trump, we are not talking to you, but the American leader is saying that, yes, I am speaking to you. So who is the American leader speaking to?
I guess that's going to be a classified piece of information that only Donald Trump knows. Right now, Pakistan is the main interlocutor between the U.S. and Iran. So there might be some back channeling that is going on, but currently there's no public knowledge of any high-level negotiations between Iran and the U.S.
Office where we can see on your screen there, President Trump and his members of his inner caucus. Is the American leader telling the members of his team, is it fables that he's sharing with them? Because if you and I are talking, is this a game of propaganda or words of war?
I think that's a great question. Similar to the questions you were asking, Anna, on the clip regarding Ukraine and Russia, there is a heavy-duty propaganda, strategy at play. And the midterms are less than 100 days away here in the U.S. So a lot of the Republicans that Donald Trump leads need to hear a positive message that the United States is projecting a level of strength in the Middle East. Is that true? Clearly not, because the balance of power has shifted from, the United States and Israel to an extent to Iran, given the fact that they're using unconventional weapons to even fight, a larger defense power. So it's more political messaging from the president. It makes sense domestically. How it plays internationally and bringing the Iranians to the table, negotiating table, is yet to be seen.
So Wale, you mentioned that the midterms are here. This war, the Americans had said that they will get the job done as soon as possible, but it's getting towards the midterms. Do you think, from the feelers, from the research you do, that this may cost the Republicans?
Strong polling, recent polling shows that the Democrats they are very, very inclined to be in charge to win the November elections. The Senate is at play, but there are a couple of difficult Senate races that are happening in the northeast part of the country. That being said, it's definitely going to affect the midterms because Americans are most concerned about, economic standing, domestic affairs. Yes, oil prices are too high, groceries are high, fertilizer is high around the world. So yes, it's going to have an impact here.
Okay, Mr. Adewale Dada, governance systems expert and international affairs analyst. Thank you, sir. So early there in Washington, about 7 a.m. or so. Thank you for coming on. Okay, so in Central America, in Panama, a clash between progress and preservation has ignited a wave of resistance. The government's ambitious plan to build a massive reservoir to secure water from the Panama Canal, a lifeline of global trade, has met fierce opposition from communities, activists, and the Catholic Church. What was intended as a solution to drought and water scarcity has instead sparked outrage, legal battles, and emotional appeals to protect ancestral lands and cemeteries. The streets of Panama City, the capital, echoed with chants and banners as protesters there on your screen marched through the Supreme Court, demanding justice. At the heart of their struggle lies the Rio Indio Basin, where the proposed reservoir would flood thousands of hectares of farmland, uproot families, and submerge 8 cemeteries, places where generations of Panamanians have laid their loved ones to rest. Legal petitions have already reached the Supreme Court, while appeals to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights seek international protection. The government insists on compensation and dialogue, yet distrust runs deep amongst communities who fear promises will not match reality. Okay, up next will be sports, but before we take that, I'm just telling my producer now, China and Nigeria are making efforts in harvesting geophysical data. And this is with a view to unlocking the African nation's vast mineral resources. Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Jimoh Ibrahim, said this at the UN Development Workshop on High Development Quality of the Marine Economy held in Beijing. Let's bring some sports news to you now. The Commonwealth Games have ended. What did we come back with?
Algeria became the third nation to book a place in the quarterfinals of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations after a 2-0 victory over Kenya in their final Group A match. Marion Defoe and Linda Bendries both found the back of the net in the first half to seal the win for the Phoenix. The result saw Algeria finish second in Group A behind hosts Morocco, who played out a goalless draw with Senegal. Action continues today in Group B. South Africa faced Burkina Faso. The Bayana, currently bottom of the group, must secure all 3 points to keep their hopes of reaching the knockout stage alive. The other Group B fixture sees Giant Killers, Tanzania, take on group leaders Ivory Coast. The top 2 teams from each group will advance to the knockout stage. Elsewhere, pressure is mounting on FIFA President Gianni Infantino, with several member associations threatening to withdraw their support unless he steps down. The opposition follows his now abandoned proposal to sell stakes in FIFA competitions to private investors. UEFA has threatened legal action while Wales has withdrawn its backing for Infantino's re-election bid. England is also expected to follow. Infantino requires at least 106 votes from FIFA's 211 member associations to secure a final team when elections are held in March. The FIFA Council also has the power to convene an emergency meeting that could force his resignation, although a number of member associations continue to support his leadership. And in the English Premier League, 9 clubs will begin the 2026-2027 season under new permanent managers, setting a new competition record. The figure surpasses the previous record of 8 managerial changes at the start of the 2016-2017 campaign. Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Ipswich Town and Newcastle United will all start the new season with new men in charge. The wave of managerial changes means Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is now the Premier League's longest-serving manager, having been in charge since December 2019. The 2026-2027 Premier League season gets underway on August 21 with Arsenal opening their campaign against Coventry. That's sports on the world news. Many thanks for watching. I am Lai Lawal.
Yes, that's it on the World News. I am Shola Jaisime. Thank you for watching, and we'll bring our next bulletin to you at 4 p.m. Nigerian time. That is Nigeria Today.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live, and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Abuja, the Nigerian capital, is facing growing drug crisis, not hidden but visible, not isolated but spreading fast. With 14.4% of Nigerians using drugs and nearly 30% in parts of the Federal Capital Territory actively involved, the nation's capital is fast becoming a hub for both consumption and trafficking. From Area 1 to Karu, Wuse to Gwarimpa, drug networks are embedding in communities, targeting young people and exploiting weak spots. This is no longer just about drugs. It is about security, crime, and the future of a generation. I'm Ada Bison Ononye, Welcome to Security Scope, the program that beams the spotlight on topical security issues across the globe on Africa Independent Television. When Security Scope returns, we take you inside Abuja's drug underworld, the hotspots, the syndicates, and the young lives at risk. Stay with us if you can. Welcome back. In the nation's capital, a quiet but dangerous shift is unfolding. This is our matter of the moment this week. Across the FCT, the warning signs are now impossible to ignore. Between 2022 and February 2025, over 1,800 suspects have been arrested, more than 33,000 kilograms of illicit drugs seized, and over 500 convictions secured. And yes, the NDLEA, that is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, is not sleeping. Operations are ongoing. Networks are being disrupted. But the reality is this: the crisis is evolving faster than enforcement. Synthetic drugs like methamphetamine, molly, and crack are spreading rapidly. Tramadol and codeine remain deeply entrenched. And Abuja now served as both a destination and transit corridor. Young people are at the center, drawn in by peer pressure, stress, and easy access. Hotspots are no longer hidden. There are organized, structured markets, and wherever drugs take root, crime follows: theft, violence, gang activity. So the reality is that there isn't anymore the question of whether there is a problem. It is whether the response is strong enough to break it. Now, joining me on Security Scope today is the commander of the NDLEA FCT Strategic Command, Assistant Commander General of Narcotics, Julius Zeh. The ACGN joined the agency in 1995 as a member of the Course 5 ASN cadets. He has worked in all the geopolitical zones of the country, occupying various positions, the last before now being the Deputy Director, Assets and Financial Investigations at the national headquarters of the agency here in Abuja. Thank you for joining us on Security Scope today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. So, Commander, clearly, Abuja is under pressure. Are we ahead of the crisis or just reacting to it?
It is true that Abuja is under pressure. Abuja, by the geopolitical setting itself, as you understand, is in the center of the country, and is the Lagos of 30 years back. And you see influx of people from all the states, all the places. It's the center of attraction, it's the center of government, and you have so many people coming in. And once you have an influx of human beings coming to strive for a living, the good ones come, the bad ones also come.
Naturally.
Yeah, so that is what is the problem in the issue in Abuja as it is. We don't shy away from the fact that with this influx is also the coming in of the bad guys with drugs and other criminalities. And we, at the NDLEA, are poised to approach the problem as it is and see what we could do. And we've been putting our hands together, tactics together to see how we can contain it. We may, as crime is, may not be able to completely what it is, so that citizens yeah, here and there. In short, when I was sent to come and take over the call man, the chairman, the first thing the CC, the chairman of the agency says, there are noticeable black spots in Abuja. So if it is noted from the number 1 of the NDLA, it is what we all know. And you have them Tora Bora, you have in Cairo, the Abattoir there, you have in Area 1, Notorious, you have them in Banex, you have them, pockets of them, all some of the places. And we've mapped up strategy to see how we will contain it, and work has been in progress, and we've been working on it. When I came in, that's about 3-4 months back, we brought in what we call Operation Raid and Occupy. Because it has become, the problem has become so endemic that it is as if when you clear, when you arrest, when you pick those based on intelligence you think are selling, and either through buy and bust, and you pick them and you take them away, it may not take more than an hour or 2. You see a replacement of people coming in, as if there's a competition. So I adopted this policy of raid and occupy. When we raid and we arrest in the joints you have mentioned, then we station their foot on ground. Sometimes we remain there overnight, 24 hours. We hold our activities there. No, nothing like that takes place. We hold the ground until later when we think we're sure before we go back. We've been doing that, and then targeted arrests based on intelligence, on surveillance, on those who we think are dealing, who intelligence I say are dealing and are selling in various parts of the places. And then also on interdictions. You'll be surprised to hear the quantity of, the enormous quantity they've seized between just the beginning of the year. It's just, the
Tell us,
just
what's the quantity?
For the past 2 months, between January and now, we've arrested over 6 tons. This was on display 2 weeks back, where we called the press you were there to see the world, see what is coming in. As I said earlier,
6 tons of what kind of?
6 tons, over 6 tons of cannabis sativa. Then you have Molly, you have all brands, amphetamines coming down from the south, from the south, and all over the place. We interdicted that. You see some very funny ways of interdictions on the roads. And then, not just on the road, the plaza in Kubwa there, around the NYC junction, the whole plaza, you see somebody build something attached to the plaza. We're still looking for the person. Bags and bags. And then 2 weeks back, we intercepted a guy coming from Ondo State into Day about over 2 tons of cannabis. About over 2 tons of cannabis, 1 single arrest. So in 2 months, cannabis alone was over 6 tons. You have not talked about the loud, Canadian loud, Ghanaian loud, and all those things. When you talk of loud, is cannabis sativa that has been laced with certain chemical substances that make it even far more stronger on the nervous system, on the central nervous system, than the cannabis you know in Nigeria here that is produced from the south and brought up. That is when you hear about loud. It could be Ghanaian loud, it could be Canadian loud, it could be whatever Texas, they come from.
Because generally Nigerians think when you say loud, it's another word meaning marijuana or Igbo, as we call it in the local parlance. But, they may not be wrong, because it is, Igbo, as we call it in the local parlance, which is marijuana, has over 200 or thereabouts species. Oh, yes? Yes, it has over 200 species, even far more than that. Some are lighter, some are stronger. But this species is not just the marijuana itself. It's marijuana laced with other things, other precursor chemicals that are used to manufacture other drugs like amphetamine and whatever. It's laced on these. On the cannabis itself, it is not just the cannabis, the Igbo, This one, a little as it is, you see, in a cup, they'll tell you 5,000. It's imported.
some countries don't ban cannabis. So they bring in from there. Bringing them from there may not be a problem for them. They bring it.
So does this also mean that because it is laced with other precursor chemicals, it means that the side effect on the human health is more dangerous than the regular Igbo from the local farms?
Yes, it has. It has a far more dangerous effect than the local one. The local one itself is dangerous as it is.
Okay.
But when this one is mixed or not with those chemicals mixed or not, put together, and so are called loud. Well, any of these countries loud. It becomes far more potent, far more effective, far more. It destroys far more the central nervous system, the brain, all the head.
What are the immediate side effects that you begin to?
Of course, the stimulants.
Notice about someone who has just taken.
Yeah, they are stimulants.
Such kind of louds.
They are stimulants, so that after 3, when they take it, it's as if you climb here, you don't feel anything. It is those things that people take that you see the rate of crime go high. Most of these crimes that you see happen now, violent crimes, not so much, sometimes not even violent crimes, but most of the violent crimes you see, go to prisons, go to people tried under violent crimes. Is it terrorism? Is it burglary? Is it armed robbery? Is it kidnapping? These people are under influence of these drugs that are laced with these chemicals. And they stimulate the central nervous system and make them hyperactive. They do things ordinary will not do.
Which leads them to do things like what? People need to know.
Like robbery, kidnapping, terrorism. You see bomb exploding. Somebody texts this, he doesn't care. He's not in his right frame of mind. He does anything. You give him anything to do, you order, like he becomes a robot.
Okay.
You order, he carries out. I was some time in the northeast for good 4 years during the heat of the Boko Haram or whatever, as it is coming back now. Most of the camps that soldiers in the front lines were raiding and arresting and killing people. You had drugs there.
They were also recovering drugs.
We are recovering drugs. These drugs, some for trading within the camps, and most of it for consumption. Yes, for taking. They take and then they advance. When you say there's nothing like hot or do this, maneuver this or forward ever, it's forward ever and they are moving. They confront our troops with this maximum stimulated effect that these drugs give people. And if you're unfortunate to have anybody at home who is a drug abuser, it's terrible. They take the drugs, sometimes it has about 3-4 hours effect. When that drug starts depreciating, going out of the system. Just like when you eat food, at a stage you get hungry again and you want to eat. It goes the same thing with drugs. When they take the drugs, after 3-4 hours, 5 hours max, it wears down, the effects start going up, and then they want to take again. If they don't have it, if anything at home, your bangu, people sell houses, they sell estates, they sell cars, they sell appliances, they steal, they commit anything. Instantaneously. Because
just to feed that urge at the moment.
They need that money to go and replace the drugs that is winning after the body. Because it becomes very dangerous. They need the money. And so if you have such people at home, it becomes a problem. If you have such people in the offices and they're in positions that they can pilfer, they pilfer. So it's a gamut of a lot of things that it causes society. This is just out of the criminal aspect of it.
Yes,
we've not even gone to the health aspect.
Okay, before we go to the health, I was going to ask you that now that we have been established, not just on this program, but it's been established over time, that there's a nexus between drugs and criminality. Yes. Let's take it back a little back home. Yeah. We are seeing more synthetic drugs among young users.
Yeah.
How dangerous is this shift? I ask because the violent criminal, who is not in a domestic environment, it can be understood that he has a goal. The goal is to go to kill, to rob, to kidnap, and commit any kind of offenses. But
that becomes his professional there.
Yes, but this one within the home, within the society, within the school, within office premises, how dangerous is this shit?
Yeah, it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Among the youths these days, you see some of them, parties are ahead. You see pancakes that are coming. Some of them are laced with this. They take it. Some rape. At home, as I mentioned earlier, there's no peace at home. They pick anything they sell. Daddy's car, daddy's landed property. They take and they go to these dealers. The dealers, a vehicle of about 10 million, a drug-dependent person, youth at home, as you see, will take it, go to somebody who deals in the drug and gives him, and they call it, I pledge. And they will pledge, give me a drug of 100,000, 150,000, or even 50,000. This is a car document that is reading 10 million, 15 million. But they pledge and they give you the car. Just give me to satisfy the urge at that moment. And they take and they pledge and they give. These guys hold these vehicles a day or two if they don't see them. And when they take these vehicles, appliances or whatever, house documents, estate documents, or whatever valuables that they take to these dealers and they pledge, they hardly get the money to go back there and give and collect these things.
So they look for something else.
They look for something else. Those ones are gone. We've had cases where parents have come and we've recovered vehicles from people we have arrested.
Where did parents and guardians miss it? At what point do you start to notice that my child or my ward is gone out of control, has become under the influence of intoxicants? At what point?
This is a problem. Number one, peer group. Do you know the kind of friends your child is going out with, is mingling with? Do you care what they do? Do you know where they go when they come back? Do you know what is their ambition, what drives them? The peer group is the number one pressure that sends youth into this, into the drug, this thing. Then number two, presently, children are over-pampered. A child, you should learn to give children what they need, not what they want. A child will always want anything, but you, the parent, knows what that child needs. Sometimes he needs 10,000 for a particular issue. You give 20,000. That money is going to go somewhere else because they want to feel they belong and they want to. So monitor your child, monitor your world, regulate what is given out to that person. Monitor their going in and coming in, the kind of friends they do. Check them. Do surprise checks on their properties, their boxes, and things like that.
Okay, in 2 minutes, Commander, tell Nigerians how we can join the NDLEA to stem this ugly tide and ensure that not only the FCT but Nigeria becomes safer and the streets are cleaned of these drug traffickers, basically.
We keep soliciting and we emphasize, we've said this, 80% or most of the works of the arrests I told you we've made for the past 2-3 months are from information. We spend a lot on gathering information, and when we get the information, we process it and whatever. We keep soliciting for information from people. We also have enlightenment programs that we do to communities, to schools, to peer groups, and things like that. We are also on the internet. We have just launched our FM there, 95.1. We also have a program on the X handle, NDLA_ Nigeria, every Friday, 3 o'clock. It's live there, where the headquarters brings in professionals every Friday and Saturday. All complaints you have, all discussions are made, all the complaints you have, you bring it in. And then we have a toll-free number that takes in 24 hours.
AIT is running your toll-free number since the day it was launched. As part of our corporate social responsibility, we've been doing that, and your headquarters is aware.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Commander Julius Zeh, for joining us on Security Scope today.
Thank you.
2 takeaways. Have good communications with your children. Collaborate with the NDLEA to help curb the menace of illicit drug abuse and trafficking. Yeah. Again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
All right.
Thank you for inviting us.
We'll be speaking with Julius Zeh. He is the commander of the Federal Capital Territory Strategic Command of the NDLEA. If Abuja loses control of the drug crisis, the consequences will not stay on the streets. They will define the city's security future. Remember to say no to drugs. I am Adapi Song Ononyi. See you next week.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
750 rhinos.
At an undisclosed location in South Africa's northwest province, these rhinos are being prepared for life in the wild. That's under a scheme by conservation NGO African Parks to rewild 2,000 captive-bred white rhinos. It's a move that could boost the world's wild southern white rhino population by up to 15%. African Parks project manager Donovan Juice said the aim is to rewild around 200 rhinos per year over the next 10 years to various protected areas across Africa.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime deer.
On Jigsaw today, our attention is focused on developments in Edo State, South Nigeria. Edo State is at a defining moment as Governor Monday Okweolu continues to consolidate his hold on power to the disappointment of his political opponents, many of whom didn't give him a flint chance of success. But 18 months in charge, Okweolu is gradually writing the history of Edo State from a state of particular concern to a state of special interest. When he took charge in November 2024, Governor Monday Okweolu had spoken in a manner that probably did not excite hope that he was on a rescue mission to rebuild a state that was recording so many negatives on the development charts. Today, the numbers tell this story. His over 939 billion naira 2026 budget of hope and growth, with 68% dedicated to capital expenditure, is rapidly changing the face of the state. On the ground, it is visible. 28 new road projects covering 255 kilometers are underway across the 3 senatorial districts. For the first time in the state's history, 2 flyovers are rising simultaneously in Benin City at Ramat Park and at Sapele Road by Adesua Junction, aimed at easing traffic and unlocking commerce. But beyond roads, the Okweolu administration has also excited conversation on its social infrastructure and attention to the welfare of the people. But politically, Edo remains Edo, vibrant, contested, strategic. With APC and PDP factions jostling for structure ahead of 2027 and Governor Monday Okweolu pledging 2.5 million votes for President Tinubu, the questions of party unity, security, prudent financial management, and restoring public trust have become central. These and many more are the talking points on Jigsaw today, as the State Commissioner for Information, Prince Kasim Afegwa, joins us here in the studio.
All right, time for our discussions now. Because our guest is already seated with us here in the studio, my pleasure to welcome to Jigsaw today the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Edo State, Prince Kasim Afegwa. Prince, good to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Our governor is 1 year, 8 months.
No, 20 months. I say yes, 1 year, 8 months. Yeah.
1 year, 8 months, right? Almost halfway through. We can do a scorecard, particularly because we are counting down to a major election in 2027. And Governor Monday Okweolu has been in the news of late because of his fanatical support for President Bola Tinubu. And that is, putting him in the bad book of so many. Oga, you are elected as governor, finish your job as governor of Edo State, and leave President Tinubu to carry his own cross.
Well, it's not about President Tinubu carrying his own cross. It's a function of collective responsibility, both at the national and at the state, with respect to the aspirations of Nigerians captured in the APC manifesto, captured in the Renew Hope agenda, which all the states, the subnationals, are subscribing to. So there has to be some level of deliberate fusion, or let me say collaboration, solidarity, as it were. For you to compare notes, do that which will promote the name of the party, promote the government of the president at the center, and also deepen democracy at the grassroots level. So both the governor, local government chairman, the presidents, and all of that, they have to agree to some of these irreducible minimum in terms of engaging the Nigerian discourse. And so that's what we are doing there. Though Monday Okpebolo has not hidden his fanaticism for the president.
You said that he's throwing in figures that a lot of people are questioning. How is this going to?
No, you see,
he says he's promising the president how many? 2.5. Is it 2.5 now? I know he said 3.7 million.
No, it's 2.5 million.
2.5 million votes. That will mean all the registered voters in those states will come out on the instruction of the governor, and all of them will vote for Tinubu.
That's not.
That's what it boils down to.
No, Benga, I think you're also getting yourself boxed into the same corner of every naysayers. You see, the point must be made that the reason for the governor setting a benchmark of 2.5 million votes is motivated by the fact that the people, the ordinary voters, have to be gingered, motivated, sensitized, mobilized to be able to come out to vote on the day of election. You need to set an almost impossible, timeline, benchmark, so that it will fire your adrenaline to ginger the people to say this is almost unattainable, but where can we get to?
That's like aiming for the
sky.
If you can't get there,
you get to a certain altitude. That is exactly why that 2.5 million votes came on board, and it is working for us because now with the governor doing so much in the state that is not debatable, even by opposition, they will tell you. We need to now harness all of those goodwills and see how we put them into the basket of votes for the president, and also to position our state as supporter of the president, as supporter of a national ideal for the betterment of APC as a party. And so the governor is not pretending about it, because according to him, more money is coming to the state. And he's bold to say it because it is said it is only because we're having this more money that we're able to do X, Y, Z. And you can point at projects that he's carrying out. So we are home and dry with a do for Tinubu 2027. It's already a state in the pocket, and we are hoping that...
You don't think that the backlash from other states, surrounding states, where people are also feeling disenchanted with the APC-led government? You don't feel a disenchantment?
No. Ondo State is APC. They have a neighboring state. Delta is APC. They have a neighboring state. Some of the things you see are just a storm in a teacup. They are not fundamental enough to make us lose sleep over anything. Like I tell people, the APC is very much on ground. It is APC and others. And those who are talking about we mostly the opposition, they are also being economical with the truth. Because as we speak, and they have released the name of a presidential candidate, and 19 of them were presented. So if you have 19 candidates contesting elections, why are they saying that we are trying to muzzle opposition?
Is it not the number of registered political parties in the first place? Because from the last count, there are just about 19 or 20 registered
yes,
political parties.
18. It is now the other one or two.
Yeah.
One changed its name from being Front DC to ADC.
Well, what about the allegations that the Monday operable of government in Edo State is also wish-hunting political opponents, either in terms of not citing projects in strongholds of opposing political parties? Local governments that are not in the APC stronghold are, denied of the state governments.
Well, the entire 18, there's no truth to that. The entire 18 local governments in Edo State are run by APC elected local government chairman.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know which one is stronghold of any other political party, because the PDP, as it were, that used to be a ruling party, is probably fractured, fragmented, and now in splinter groups. So you can't say that's a party that would pose a threat to us. The other emerging parties have not even taken off. The NDC is neither here nor there. The ADC, the same thing. So I wouldn't say there is no position.
They don't have structures in the state. I thought the ADC started from Edo State. That time, when the big names like that of Senator. What's the name of this? Owe. Senator Roland Owe and others were touted as the leaders, national leaders of
the social media platforms are better at that, because like in any
former APC national chairman John Odighe,
even when he was in APC national chairman, we were not delivering his polling units. So leaving us was just a good riddance. So that's not even an issue. The point is that the noise they made initially was the initial gra-gra, where you want to form a party and all that. Now that tempers are down, what are they doing? Who are they talking to? Where is their presence? Those are the kind of issues we want to be able to see.
The ADC, the NRC, and what's the other one? NDC, sorry.
We are almost forgetting the name.
have no presence.
No presence. No presence.
Okay. Now let's move to when Governor Okpebholo took over about 18 months ago. He told Nigerians that he was inheriting a state that was completely dilapidated. He talked about the huge security challenges, talking about the state of roads, state of education, which he said had completely collapsed. But his first budget, for instance, recorded a huge success, such that, in some of the international scores, it ranked almost at par with Lagos State in terms of budget implementation. But it has since moved from the 2026 budget, 900 and something billion naira. Now, this is August. Time enough to begin to measure the impact of that huge budget. How do you see this budget has impacted on the lives of average Edo citizens?
First thing, let us also understand that every budget has a certain temperature.
Yeah, and the focus.
And focus.
Yeah.
And
2026 is a budget of hope and growth, I think.
Yes.
Hope and growth.
And you also have to follow the methodology of budgets. Oftentimes people confuse budget estimates as if you are going to get everything cast in stone, and that that's what you are going to spend. These are projections, but essentially we've done well in terms of how we're able to confront developmental challenges, just like you said, what we inherited from the previous government. We don't have to be lamenting. We are no longer lamenting. We have since taken off. We have done roads. We are still doing roads. Rains are slowing us down. We've constructed schools. We are constructing chairs and tables. We are building primary health care centers and all of that. A lot of these we met in rots and decay. And that is the truth, because people can see. If you see the level of popularity of the governor presently, you will know that it's because he's doing things that resonate with the people. We are doing good rules, but his rules are followed by side drains because of erosion.
To make them
last. And a lot of them are concrete. And after that concrete, he will still go a step further to lay asphalt on them. Like the flyover that will be commissioned in no time, maybe in another 1 month from now. That's what he did. And so for you to get value for money, you have to do side drains to make sure the roads last, and the quality of road. You see him going to sites where he's measuring centimeters, millimeters, and all that, the meters that was agreed upon, and all of that. You can't solve the problems of a bubbling state like Edo in just 1 or 2 years. But we have set a good template for us to measure our growth and development in terms of how we respond to infrastructural decay that we inherited. And that is why, you see, people may call us names, but they can't take us, on the issue of whether we are performing. They can tell you that we are not building projects in where there's stronghold. There's no stronghold for anybody. APC has taken over the entire local government in Edo.
So the entire state is just one constituency for the government? It is
one constituency for the government, one constituency for APC, and we challenged the opposition. We did local government elections just recently, barely 2 weeks ago, and we didn't see the opposition. They said they were boycotting because they don't have candidates who will come and waste money, because they know that Okwebele is working and that his candidates will win election. It's not just about making noise. People who have challenged it before, they have come to Edo, we've taken them and they've seen. They say, oh boy, now wow, this kind of thing they happen for here now, and I know they talk. And the masses don't sing praises yet. Let's get them to 90%, 95% completion, so that the beauty of this project will resonate with the people and people can see them. And that's what we are doing.
939.8 billion naira, that's the size of the budget. Well over half of it earmarked for capital projects. Now, beyond Edo Central, that's Benin City, where the capital is, can we measure, are there projects to point to in the other Benin is in Edo South, right?
Yes.
Are there projects that you propose to verifiable projects in the 2 other senatorial districts?
There are a lot of, you see, when they want to nail you, they give you a bad name so that they can hang you. The point is that the governor is doing projects based on need assessment. That's one. 2, there are a lot of projects ongoing in Edo South, which is the Benin Metropolis, which is actually the hub of Edo State, as it were. The flyover I'm talking about is in Edo South. Another flyover at Adesuwa Junction is Edo South. Sapele Road, concrete slabs, both ways, drains, and all of that in Edo South. Etewan Road Extension, Erotubu, Temboga. These are all artery of roads with drains, side drains, and all of that. Some of them are addressing even erosion, gully erosion crisis. And we've been able to empty quite a lot of that. Even within the Benin metropolis, we captured over 12 schools that we have repositioned. Amidi Secondary School is one of them. Because when the previous governor was talking about Edo Best, we thought that within the Benin metropolis we won't have something to show. They will have something to show. But there were schools whose roofs were leaking. Students were taking lecture and classes without chairs. They were sitting on bare floor in Benin City. And so the government said, no, this is unacceptable. We are not calling our do best or do anything, but we are talking, we are saying practical governance. You can see with your eyes. If you are fixing anything, you will see it. If you are arguing with me, say, please go, hey, come, take this man to Uredu Girls College. You will see what we have done there. Take him to Maria Goretti. Take him to Amide Secondary School. Take him to New Era. You will see the schools there. You will see what has been done. Every now and then we are still producing chairs and tables to make sure that we supply all the schools all of these teaching materials. And aside from that, the government is also building toilet facilities, because
public toilets,
all the schools didn't have all of that before.
Okay. The toilets were for the schools,
yes.
Not public toilets.
No, for the schools. Okay. For the schools. At least students are happy. When they see him, they always want to, it's a success story. In Edo North, we are doing some projects on road construction to Igara, Kakumo. We are building the staff.
Achibide Road is still not.
That's the federal government road, but work is ongoing.
Then there's Bini Abraka.
Bini Agbe Road, Bini Abraka. Works are ongoing on this road, but under the rainy season, you can't do anything about roads, especially when it is severe.
Anybody who knows those states will know.
It is very rains. So the government was pained recently, say, what we plan to achieve in this dry season couldn't, because when we were thinking that we were having 3 months of dry season, we didn't even have more than 1 month. That's the truth. And so we have our road projects mapped out for us, and we are hoping that the moment rain stops or give a break, we are going to speed up the constructions and all that. But it will be good to conclude that Edo is a huge construction site. That is not in doubt.
What of Edo Central? Is that
there are roads. There are roads in Edo Central, Udomi, Uromi. There's 150-bed hospital that is going on now that will serve as teaching hospital for the Ambrosali University in order to decongest, Ekpoma and all of that. So it was sited in Udomi, which is not far from Ekpoma. In fact, the entire Edo Central with good road network, you can crisscross them 30-40 minutes, you are done with almost all of them. So the road construction he's doing now from Irwa, Udomi, Uromi, and all of that is also helping us to navigate all of this area. If you went to Uromi some times ago, and you come back now, you will see a remarkable difference. That Uromi was rotten. For 8 good years, it was abandoned. I had to personally plead with God and say, see, don't say that these people didn't vote for you. You must do these roads, because this is the heart of Eastern land.
The tower of the late Chief Adel.
Yes, the 8 years of Obaseki, there was no activity in terms of road construction.
I know living with the connection with the late Chief Adel.
No. The roads are bad. Even the former Minister of Works is also from there.
Another member
is also from there. So we can't. The government said no. If you go now see the quality of roads do with side drains, no, that is commendable. Aside from that, it's also building a school of health technology in that area. And the reason for choosing Udomi for the location, number one, there is huge expanse of land.
Okay.
It's like nobody's land. And that place was becoming notorious for kidnapping activities. So he told us at ESCO that if we don't generate activities around this end, it will become a haven for kidnappers.
Yeah, it becomes what do they call ungoverned space.
That was why he decided to start the 150-bed, whatever, town hall, resource center, and all of that. And today, there is an army formation in that area to also provide security for contractors, construction engineers, and all of that. So that area now has activity going on, and is also helping us to address the precarious situation we inherited from previous government with respect to that place. Because it is all forest. Even farming activity is ongoing in that place. We did a lot last year for maize. We harvested a lot of maize, and off-takers are using them for flour mills and what have you. In fact, even our yield couldn't even supply the entire, couldn't meet up with the entire demand. And so
we hear about 500 hectares of land
being cultivated for maize.
Yes. Yeah. How is it impacting the small-scale farmers and then the big stakeholders.
The off-takers are there. The off-takers are there. You know, we have Ewu Flour Mill. That is.
Has it been revived?
Yes, it's been revived. It's now into private hands and being run well by a son of the soil. A son of the soil bought it over. It was.
Any equity? Is the state government equity?
No. We have
any equity?
No, I think they sold it. The previous government sold it outrightly, and so we came on board to meet it being renovated and being rehabilitated and all of that. But today it's working functionally. They have a lot of workers, over 500 workers, working there and all that. And their primary raw material is maize, cassava and what have you. So they are doing quite a lot of work from government-owned farms and from also individuals who have been encouraged to farm. The security that used to be a problem before has been solved, at least 80-90%. I can tell you that.
Let's talk more about that. We understand that the governor had to set up
special courts.
Is it forest guards? Forest guards.
Yes.
Now it's going to get a boost with the new divisions of the army that the president has announced. I think one of the divisions is going to be new divisions is going to be in Benin.
Yes.
That should be a boost.
That's a boost. Even before then, we must commend the military, the police, the paramilitary, civil defense, and all of that. The DSS, they are all working. They build a strong synergy. And the way they respond to cases each time they happen, oftentimes people want you to be discussing security issues or kidnap issues on TV, even when a victim is in the forest or in the bush. And you cannot unveil or expose what is being done to get them released. Because some of these kidnappers wait to hear what you say on TV or radio. They change tactics and all of that. And so they're always a step ahead of you because they are the criminals who want to circumvent the system. So they naturally will be a step ahead of you. But what we have done is that there's so much of bush combing now because of these forest guards. 500 of them have been deployed to our forest, armed.
Is that enough? From Edo Central to Wauchi,
don't forget that we have 2,500 Edo Security Corps members.
Okay, that's aside from the forest guards.
From the 500 forest guards.
The 500 is just forest guards.
2,500 are the Edo Security Corps. So they are also helping the police in information gathering, intelligence gathering, and helping to network the villages and all that, because these people know their environment better than people who are not from Edo, who are posted to Edo in the name of police, DSS, and what have you. But the last police commissioner, who is now an AIG Zone 5, Monday Agbanika, is doing a yeoman's job. Fantastic guy, we must say. We are very pleased with him because he doesn't sleep all night long. And the governor, too, is very much awake to issues. Call him 3 a.m., he picks his call. And I told him last week, I said, you have to find time to be sleeping now. Because public work, there's no amount of energy you want to put into it.
Don't discourage the governor.
No, you see, let me tell you, but he needs to be well to be able to do the job. So it needs to create time for him to sleep at times. Call him 2 a.m., he's picking his call, he's giving directly, call him 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I had to ask him last week, how do you even find time or space to sleep? I thought, where will you sleep when people are, this one is calling, somebody has been kidnapped, somebody has been killed, somebody is somehow. But now, we are putting pay to a lot of this. The incident that happened at inside Benin was what provoked us further. The one that happened at vegetable market, where somebody was kidnapped, broad daylight, a woman, and the man had to escape. At least in the next 5-6 days, the police were able to track their vehicle, and at the point of paying ransom, 8 million naira, they were apprehended, and 2 escaped to Asaba. We have since arrested them. They are back in the custody, and they are facing the special court. The special court has taken off.
Yeah. The governor has made no word in saying that if anybody is convicted and sentenced to death, he is going to sign the execution.
Right at the ring road.
He is probably building on what one of his predecessors did I remember Governor Adams Oshomole was the only governor during that era
that signed
death warrant of convicted and condemned criminals.
And for which Amnesty International were raising all kinds of dust. But in the case of Oshomole, that period, there was one incident that provoked us, beyond our marrows, because a particular kidnapper, very, very notorious, apprehended this woman with his gang, abused her severally, and by the time they killed, he inserted a beer bottle into her vagina. That was very gruesome, and killed the woman in her pool of blood, severed her body into 4 different parts, and buried at different locations. So that you won't be able to connect. If you see the leg here, body here, you won't see the hand. If you see the hand here, you won't see the leg. Just like that. When he was apprehended, he had to take us to all those places, and they were able to exhume that woman's body, collect it, put in a coffin, given a befitting burial. And he was one of those persons that somebody signed his death warrant.
Yeah. That he said even if heaven was going to fall, if he was going to be impeached for that, he will ensure that they were sent back to their makers.
Exactly. That was what we did. And even this man escaped narrowly from our...
That's what Governor Kwebolo too wants to do now.
Yeah, he's doing quite a lot.
Through the special course.
And that is also helping because our fight against cultism is also yielding positive results.
That was coming to that.
Yes, I'm not.
Because not long ago, there was one incident, I think it's in the University of Benin also, that that said the internet had gone.
Yeah, that one was Yahoo.
Not cultism?
No, it wasn't cultism. It was Yahoo. The guy, there was money dropped in that guy's account, and he refused to share.
To share with the other members of the
others. He was postponing the day of sharing. So they got fed up, they got impatient, and he was writing exam. He told them they should wait for him to finish his exam and all that, and they felt that, why should we be waiting? It's a collective effort, and all of that. So that was what happened in the case of that. But when it comes to cultism,
but that doesn't mean that cultism is still not a challenge.
No, it's a challenge, but you just have to be careful when you are a part of it, because you are not sparing anyone, no matter how highly placed you are.
Including those who are in government?
I don't know if you have anyone in government who...
It's believed that the governors are successive governments in Edo State, that's why cultism has been a major challenge.
You see, the point the government has been making is that you don't wake up in the morning and you look for people to kill in the name of cultism. If you are doing cultism to promote a collegiate, association of peers.
You can use cultism to promote values, really.
Thank you, So, but wake up in the morning, somebody is coming out from his or her shop. You say because they attack your mom or your dad, you go there, boom, you kill. For the first time in Edo State, particularly in Benin City, there was no incident of shooting or killing on 7th July 2026. They have that date as a notorious date for all kinds of killing. They call it 7/7.
Why was that?
I don't know.
Historical background?
There must be amongst those who are cultists. They call it 7/7. Yeah, so in a day, for the first time, this last one, there was nothing like 7/7. There was no incident of shooting, gun, or even killing. They say, in fact, security agencies, intelligence officers told me that this is the first time that they have seen such things happen, and that the governor's effort in cultism is really leading and is paying off. So you may not get it all,
correct.
All right, but at least we have made a remarkable impact in that aspect, and we are proud about it.
Perhaps it's a no-brainer, therefore, if I suggest that Edo State will probably be one state that is waiting eagerly for the takeoff of state police. With all the structures that you have on ground, you already have you have the Edo Security Corps. You also have forest guards. These could form special departments in the Edo State Police Command, Edo State Police, where you eventually have one?
We are waiting anxiously to key into that, because we have been saying it before. Don't forget that the issue of community policing was heavily promoted by one of our sons, the late IG, Solomon Arasi. He talked so much, he wrote books about community policing, neighborhood watch, and what have you. And so when you have a state police, it will deepen that conversation and take it to a stronger pedestal, you know, as time goes on. The argument that it will be a tool in the hands of governors and all of that. See, society has to move on without looking at just the immediate. We are talking about the life of a state, the life of nations. It is not going to be like that forever. If a governor has a tendency of abusing security formations around his state or in his state, time will come that he will be tired, because who are you going to be dealing with? You are dealing with your people. The same people you will come to ask for votes. So they'll still be able to temper their conduct in a manner that will be admirable for people. Because you need people from a locality for them to know the geography of that locality. If you just say, oh, state police, or you bring somebody from Sokoto to come and be police in Edo, you will take another 1 month studying the geography of Edo. But if you take somebody from Edo who already knows the terrain and all of that, he will be able to, pick information, intelligence that will help the police to deepen their
if something happened, for instance, at Ring Road, they could already predict which direction with these people likely head.
Thank you. So, and when they haven't headed one direction, you say, it is either they are going here or they are going here. So they know how to do it. So state police is a welcome development. It's a thing that Nigerians will embrace. I actually want it to start almost immediately, but I don't know why the delay. It will be good for us to have it, so that all of this crisis of kidnapping, banditry, and what have you.
Some people are even arguing that there's a way to make people, particularly the subnational governments, not just to be partakers, because security is a shared responsibility.
That is the truth. In other countries, they have
a state. It's a co-stakeholder.
Yes.
Security in other countries of the state. That, of course, will trickle down to local government chairman, who will also be held accountable as real chief security officers of their areas, councillors, and it goes down up to the last man, chairman of the resident administration, everybody will become stakeholders.
You are very correct. What you need to do is just to think out the Constitution to have complementary provisions that would define the extent of the state police, where their responsibility stops, where the federal police takes up. So that's what you have in America, where you have the sheriffs and whatever. So if you have a central policing system as it were now, and you want to devolve to the states with the name of state police and all of that, you just have to have provisions that will cater for all of those complementary and shared responsibility that you need. And that is how to define a proper federalism. It is not just federalism and all the powers are concentrated in the center. There's a road passing through Benin, they will say it's a federal road. As if federal people are the one passing it. So you need to let some of these develop some of these powers so that the subnationals will cater for them, and also prevent the federal from being overwhelmed with responsibilities that the states can easily handle. So, but this state police is one of the reforms of the Tinubu administration that you may not like the face of the man, but he's got courage to do a lot of things. And once these things begin to sink in, Nigeria will see a better Nigeria.
We hear the governor has cleared areas of 8 years of lack of promotion in the civil service.
That is true.
Not only that, he has also given directive for more workers to be employed.
Not even directive. We have employed more workers. In the civil service, we have over 2,500. Yes.
Recruited.
Even health management agency alone recruited over 2,000. When we talk about other cadres of position in different ministries that were vacant as a result of promotions and all of that, almost every week promotion examinations have been held and people have been promoted here and there. And in order for you to, if we didn't come on board, Edo will have been run by private individuals who were using consultants to do most of the job, because civil service was almost like comatose during the 8 years of Obaseki. And this is the truth. They had about 41 agencies that were established, just portfolio agencies, I will call them. You just wake up in the morning and they just come from Lagos to Benin. They stay in a Protea hotel and they carry portfolio with proposals and what have you. They do all of this. And before you say Jack Robinson, they are swimming in mega billions. And so the debts we inherited, about 600 and something billion, is what we are thinking. The government has paid about 15 billion out of that now in the last 2 years. It's not easy.
That's what the debts.
Yes, that we inherited. And the government has not taken a kobo, and he says he will not take any.
Yeah, but it's more money is coming to state at this particular time. Not only that, it does also give it to the Edo State government. You've been able to improve on your internally generated from 5 billion. We're told that you are closing in on 10 billion.
Yeah, 10 billion, 10.5 billion.
Mostly.
Yes. Because
they're going to increase money from the federation account as well.
Yeah, see, no amount of money you get that will be enough to contend with developmental challenges, except if you don't want to work. Yeah. For those who want to work, as we are working now, there are people who are still crying that, our roads are bad. They are still showing us pictures. They will go and take pictures, videos, and send to us and all of that. There are schools that have not been fixed and all of that. So there's still so much to be done. But the ones we are doing now, once we are able to finish them in these first 4 years, we will be singing Hosanna.
I'm interested in how these two policies that I want to talk about, how they've impacted on the people of the state. First is that the government is putting more money in agriculture. I think from about 5 billion, about 6.9 billion naira. Yes. The governor has increased the budget to agriculture to about 57 billion. That's huge. From about 7 billion to about 50-something billion naira. Has it impacted on availability of staple food items in the state, if not beyond? And then the loan scheme to market women. About I don't know what about 1 billion.
We give revolving 1 billion
to market
interest free. That must be stated.
So those two, let's take it one by one. Yeah, the impact of the huge budget for agriculture, for instance, has seen the prices of staple food items. Because in Nigeria today, they say that the highest inflation rate in Nigeria is recorded in the food subsector.
What the government is trying to do, what we have done, is that we use the corn farm, the maize farm, to test run the fact that we can grow maize in Edo State and feed even the nation. So the initial one we did last year was a huge success. Now we have increased, the extent and the extent of the productivity to cater for the growing demand, particularly by off-takers. Now, that is just in the area of maize.
Off-takers are
They are there. The people are ready to. That is just in the area of maize farming. What we are also encouraging are individuals, farmers who are built into clusters and assisted with support. So then to also grow cassava, palm produce, and all of that, They also have those who are ready to take off whatever they are producing for another end product. Now, what do you call it now? The 1 billion we gave to the women, it was one. Before we came on board, the urban market got burnt. And a lot of women lost their
means of livelihood,
their items, wares, and all of that. And so the government said, okay, the previous government promised 100 million to rebuild that market. But the government is completely rebuilding. What they wanted to do before was rehabilitation. but now it's rebuilding and we're almost about 85% completed. So the market women are now complaining that this market too fine. Now they give us this market, so and the government is saying yes, these lock-up stores will be allocated to you because they are very organized. They are very organized. And somebody was complaining that what is a market? Why are we building market in Benin? Why are we building in Ekpoma? Why are we building in Irua? Why are we building in Jatu? I do not. I do not market got burned and 2 people were actually died in that inferno. And so government is building all of this market at the same time. And they have forgotten that once you provide the enabling environment for people to do business, they can be captured into the tax net. You know, it's just like a financial inclusion. Bringing them into the tax net, and even if it is 500 naira they are paid to government, it is something. That will also make them serious. This loan we gave them is an interest-free loan. And we are saying that by the time we see the way you perform, we'll increase that.
So what is the repayment like now? The repayment percentage?
We have an office that is monitoring that. The feedback so far has been very encouraging. I won't be able to tell you the figures, what has been paid, but they are quite excited, they are happy. And we are saying that in another 2 months before, once they are starting campaigns, I think we'll flag off that urban market in Benin. It's very beautiful now. We are happy.
Is it a campaign strategy?
Part of, it's part of it. It's part of it because you do things that resonate with the people. And when you are able to, handle such projects that people can also benefit from, it also tells on the kind of economy, their own economy, both at the individual level and at the collective level. So women in Edo, they have good markets. Agbado market is there, well covered, well protected. Urban market is coming again and all of that. By the time they finish Ekpoma market, Irua market, Jatu market and all of this, people will be able to do business. When it is raining, they will enter into their local stores. They won't be afraid that the crowds are gathering. So you may not be able to answer all the questions with respect to what they want because human wants are insatiable. But again, we are able to do projects based on needs assessment. And we are happy that what we are doing are resonating with the people. And once dry season comes now, we are going to increase the tempo of our intervention in the area of roads, particularly the Benin City GRA road network and erosion control. That's also a factor that the governor has said is going to do. No matter how expensive it is, it's our responsibility to do that.
All right. Not too long ago, I think just a couple of days ago, the president. I've forgotten the group of people he was addressing now when he said that so much money are going to the states and the people cannot be complaining about hunger to the president. Go to your governor, ask them questions about what they are doing. And the president was spot on one issue. And the issue of the Ring Road flyover just brought that back to my memory now. The governors are spending huge chunks of money on flyovers and they are not attending to the needs of Edo State, one of the guilty states where you are busy building flyovers and the people are going about on empty stomach.
No, I think the president is being
the case of the Edo Ring Road is different.
No, I think the president is just being misquoted or quoted out of context. He put a caveat. Unnecessary flyovers.
Is the one
we are building at Ramat Park is a very, very necessary flyover that is required to take away the traffic logjam that is very peculiar with that axis. And the one at Adesuwa Junction, a cluster of road that is always like forever. You can get
don't help you if you are caught. Thank you. And then it's raining.
Thank you. So that's those two are the first in the entire Edo State. The first flyover. How do you feel when you say Benin City without the flyover? So we are happy that the governor has been able to put two located in places that are desirous of them. So the president is right when he says go to your state governor, go and do this thing. And let me tell you, Benga, when you are into construction, the multiplier effect trickles down to the average person at home because There are those who will supply gravel. There are those who will supply sand. There are those who will supply wood. There are those who will supply water. So many categories of workers on a daily basis, and when they close, they pay.
Even those who will come there and sell food.
And sell food. Thank you. And when they close, they give them money, and then when they get home, they will see money to feed. So it has its own multiplier effect. Because in an economy, when you want to rejig an economy, some people are of the opinion that when you concentrate on infrastructure, that means you are circulating money. And that's also a veritable platform to rejig an economy that is in tatters or that is in trouble. So we are not oblivious of what the challenges are. We are also taking major steps to ensure that we confront them. The one we can do, we do. And the one we are unable to do, we are polite enough to also tell Edo people, based on X, Y, Z, this is why this is waiting. Exercise patience with us. Because you have to take them one after the other. If you bring forth too many projects at the same time, and you left them uncompleted. At the end of the day, they will still reign and do this stuff. They say we are master of uncompleted projects and all that. So we are
I still need to quickly smuggle this one question, which is political. Why is Governor Monday Okwewolo trying to make Edo State toxic for political opponents? One of the presidential candidates is suing him for declaring him more or less a persona non grata in Edo State.
Who is that?
Peter Obi. That Peter Obi is not welcome to campaign in Edo State.
Do you sue a man in his absence without him knowing? We are not aware that he's suing us. And
is it true that the governor is declaring the state in the area for some political opponents?
If you want to give a dog a bad name, you are only planning to hang him. You know, to hang that dog. Probably is too calm, quiet, easygoing, humble, collected, methodical in his approach, that we wouldn't be carrying out violent engagement because we want to stop Peter Obi. Peter Obi is no threat to anybody.
He won Edo State in the last election.
That was Edo State when APC was not in charge.
He won Edo State.
Now when APC was not in charge. Don't forget that there were altercations. The PDP under Obaseki splitted into 4 and all of that. Danobi, Obaseki, and some legacy PDP and new PDP and all of that. So he had opportunity to cash in on that, and the wave of the moment, they got him that victory in Edo. But it's not the same today. We have an APC government in place. We have 18 local governments APC. We have councillors APC who are going to be gatekeepers in the different polling units spread across the 192 wards of Edo State. So we are not afraid of opposition. Even at the global scale, at the national scale, Peter Obi is not a factor. He may be grandstanding on social media and all of that. But in terms of bringing out substance, I want to see the substance of your ideas, the therapy of what you are putting forward, that will be different from what the president is doing. If you say you don't like the reforms agenda of Mr. President, please let me have your own so that I can interrogate your therapies. Because you cannot tell me you want to remove NER fund, which is providing loan for students,
and replace it with what?
Replace it with what? Tell me. You want to bring back subsidy? Let us know, because so that the state governors who are receiving so much now for their states and special states begin to interrogate and ask questions. The floating of the naira, the exchange rate and all of that. So there are quite a number of things that the president has done. And so if you are an opposition, and you are not giving me an alternative, please keep quiet and not tell me that you want to contest. I think it may just be a platform for you to get more money from donors, and at the end of the day, you showcase yourself as having participated. Then whatever
or a victim of political persecution.
Persecution. Then what you have gotten from donors, home and abroad, people who are bringing money to you, you just keep them for your account, make the kids they gather bricks. Make it a breach for there.
Please, we have to go. Our time is fast spent.
Oh, you mean we have 15 minutes? Just no.
That's true.
Jigsaw? Why are you cutting us now? I think we'll still be here for another 10, 15 minutes.
I hear you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
We'll find out to do this again very soon.
Thank you very much.
So it's Kazim Afegboa, Commissioner for Information at Edo State. He's been our guest on today's edition of Jigsaw. Thank you for investing your time with us. We'll be right back some other time. My name is Benga Aruliba. Do enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you around.
19-year-old Hussein Abdurrahman comes to this butcher shop every day to buy 8 to 10 kilograms of meat for Mogadishu's stray animals.
He is such a kind person. It's wonderful to show compassion and kindness to those who cannot afford it. He deserves support for this initiative.
Nearly 70% of Somalis live in poverty, making it challenging for many to afford food for their families, let alone for their pets. So Abdurrahman is filling that gap.
My goal is simple, to spread love and kindness throughout society. It's not just about animals, it's about reaching every corner of our community, from humans to animals, with compassion.
There are no official numbers for the stray animals roaming the streets of Mogadishu, but they are part of the urban scenery. Feeding the animals demand both time and money. Abdurrahman, who works at a commodity shop, dedicates a significant portion of his modest income to this cause. He learned his compassion from his grandfather, who also fed stray animals.
When you spend your money on good things, surely you will get back more, and your good deeds are already recorded by the angels.
Each day, Abdurrahman feeds 20 dogs and 30 cats along with some birds. The animals recognize him and rush to him. And every day, he has a crowd of human admirers.
If all Somalis were like him, we would live in a better country. I encourage everyone in the neighborhood and in Somalia in general to support people like Abdurrahman because they spread love and kindness.
Somalia lacks an effective animal organization dedicated to the needs of stray animals, and the country lacks robust policies to protect them. Abdurrahman, a proud dad to 3 cats, aims to address this issue by creating an organization to support stray animals and extend his efforts nationwide. Jamal Ahmed Usman, VOA News, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Today, we're coming to you from Zambia's capital, Lusaka, a buzzing modern metropolis. Today, we're plunging into the heart of its artistic soul at the Zambian Art and Design Show. But first, we meet Senegalese fashion designer Khadija Ba, known as the most stylish woman in Dakar. Travel across borders looking at some quirky accommodation options in Clarence, South Africa. Then, artist Osaru Obaseki shows us how she shapes sand, bronze, and history into powerful expressions of Benin's past in Nigeria. I am Suse, and you're watching Afrimax. Originally from Ghana, dancer Isaac Kiere found his voice through Cramp. Now he blends his African heritage with modern moves all the way from Berlin.
When Isaac Kira, a Berlin-based dancer, choreographer and fitness coach, invites people to work out in the park, there's an energetic African vibe in the air. This is no surprise, as the fitness program he developed, called Afroletics, combines African dance moves with African beats. Afroletics is a fitness concept that I developed. It's a combination of dance, interval and cardio training based on African rhythms. It's really about getting people to dance and sweat. Segments of the workout derive from various African dance styles such as Ndombolo, Amapiano and Afro House. The first dance style, Ndombolo, is from the Congo. The defining characteristic of Ndombolo is the hip movement. You must always keep a light stance in this squatting position. The next dance style is Amapiano, originating from South Africa. My brother Dennis will demonstrate it. Notice the lightness. We also say
the aim is not to sweat. And
finally, Afro House originates from Angola and is based on very quick footwork patterns. First, we have Abria. Okay, and then you can do it. That's very crazy, yeah. Isaac is very busy. In 2020, he published his African Dance Dictionary, an online dictionary for African dance styles. The steps and their historical origins are explained in videos along with practicing instructions. When you Google the history of Ndombolo or of Afro House, for instance, you find very little information. And I wanted to be the one to change this because I'm from Africa. I want to help people who appreciate our culture and simply want to learn more about it. Isaac is a successful dancer and choreographer. He collaborates with renowned artists and serves as an entertainer and content creator, boasting over 11 million followers on TikTok. His videos also feature celebrities such as American singer Jason Derulo and Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage. But he has worked hard for his success. Isaac was born in Ghana in 1991. When he was 4, he and his family moved to Germany, starting in the city of Duisburg. After the sudden death of his mother, his father relocated him and his 2 brothers to Berlin-Neukölln, a neighborhood known for its social challenges. Even though we never had much money, we still did well because we had each other. So okay, Mum's not here anymore, then Dad is here, and he'll look after us somehow. We just need to make sure we don't mess it up and keep moving forward. Isaac started dancing at this youth centre. As a teenager, he spent several hours a day here with his brothers and friends. They danced hip-hop and crumping, an expressive African-American dance style that originated in the United States in the early 2000s. Dancing is a form of freedom, meaning every time you'd come home from school and you weren't in a cool mood, you came here and met up with your second family, trained together, and developed new moves, which always gave you a sense of fulfillment. In 2006, Isaac and his brothers won the German Crumping Championship, marking the birth of the MIK family. MIK stands for Monsters in Crump and Mindset is Key. Isaac also earned individual titles including Best Dancer, alongside completing his master's degree in industrial engineering. I could never have imagined that I would one day reach this point, having started from such a difficult situation, and now standing alongside such international names on the world stages. Back to the Afroletics workout. The sweat-inducing fitness program lasts around an hour. How did the participants like it?
It's fun but exhausting. You can really see the passion. It's cool. It's suitable for beginners too. If you feel it, you can do it. It was cool.
Isaac has registered the name of his workout, Afroletics, as a trademark, and his dream is that Afroletics becomes a global movement, that it is danced all over the world, and that the same energy, like here at the Mauer Park, will spread worldwide. African rhythms are in Isaac's blood. His workout is not just about fitness, but also about enjoying life.
The Zambian Art and Design Show is more than just a marketplace. This biannual showcase, lighting up June and November, serves as a major force shaping Zambia's design landscape. I am here with coordinator Nancy Matambo. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Lovely show you've put together.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so for somebody that's hearing of ZADS for the first time, how long has ZADS been in existence?
ZADS has been in existence for, this is year 18.
Wow.
And it started out as a very small show in the backyard of Sugar Bush Garden with only 6 vendors.
Wow, now
so
look at the people here.
From one small show once a year to 2 shows a year and 130 vendors, and with attendance for about 3,600 people.
That's incredible. How did the idea come about?
Well, the idea came about to promote local, producers and bring in more artisans to develop the Zambian talent, the creative industry in Zambia.
So how do you also choose the amazing art and designs from across Africa for the show?
We do a call out for vendors, but I also do personal scouting, where I see the potential, somebody who's got the potential, the talent is there, the skill, design direction, and expose them now to the market. And from out of Africa, the interest has come from also the reputation that the show has had.
Yeah.
So we've had people who are now calling from Malawi. We've got the vendor from Malawi. We've got a lot of vendors from Zimbabwe. They've been coming for a few years, and they've been coming back each year.
How does ZADS help Zambian artists?
So some of them are, starting out as home cottage industries without shops. So it gives them the exposure for people to get to know them. So a lot of them grow out of the show. Some of them end up opening their own shops, quite a few of them, and some of them, it helps them get into retail shops.
Okay, Nancy, thank you so much. And we're going to continue our chat a little bit later.
Okay.
Senegalese fashion designer Khadija Ba is all about giving retro designs a new twist, including the iconic boubou. Take a look.
Khadija Ba is busy stitching up a revolution in her quest to bring back the golden age of Senegalese style. She is revolutionizing the traditional boubou.
But this, I think, coming from my grandma. She used to come like to ceremony wearing like a boubou and fur or something like that. So I think fashion has always been into me because I used to make my clothes and my accessories. But back in the days, my cousin or like my friends used to say that I'm goofy. I used to wear like big accessories. I used to wear like a lot of bracelets. I used to wear like big necklace and everything.
Let's find out why Senegal's most stylish woman, who studied business law and luxury brand management in France, has made old man fashion hipstable in Dakar.
I have I call it a cultural slap when I was in France, actually. I went to a manufacturer du Sèvres, and the guy said, this is luxury because it's handmade. And I said, no, it's not. I've never had that perception that it was like luxury.
A year after returning to Dakar and acclimatizing, she started tinkering with the idea of stitching her story into the fabric of her country. Lati's son was born. Her chosen weapon? The boubou, a classic piece of the Senegalese dressing, which she believes is a time capsule that allows those who wear it to relive their childhood and remind them of times they used to dream of the future.
I think that fashion has always been my thing since I'm a kid. For me, like, design is also playful. So maybe it's the playful part and the tradition part who made them interesting. I used to wear my grandpa's boubou, and I am a lot, I'm a lot like obsessed by embroidery. I used to not think that handmade was luxury, so I think it's important for the future generation to know that handmade is luxury, handmade takes time. Handmade is important. It's not because it's made in Medina that it's not like luxury. I wanted to show people the value of things, the value of a fabric, the value of keeping tradition alive. This is why you have like that handmade, handcrafted part in my work to keep the tradition alive. L'artisan is made in Dakar, made in Senegal, made in Africa. It's important to have like a maison mère, like the house of l'artisan here in Senegal. Even though you would have like l'artisan in Lagos or Johannesburg.
Her designs fly off the shelf, not just to clients in the capital, but to other capitals around the world, from Lagos to New York, Paris, and even Sydney.
I've never imagined that my clothes or my boo-boos, even though it's not Naomi Campbell, people are gonna like it because people used to say that I'm goofy, she's awkward, things like that. When Lupita or Naomi wear the boo-boos, they were like one part of Senegal, one part of Africa. I'm very grateful for it. And sometimes I'm also like, I have like mixed opinion. Africans, they need also people like you, they need like celebrities to wear a brand to assume it. Because for example, the camouflage boo-boo, like it was been here like for 3 years, nobody wear it. And then when Naomi wear it, it like, ooh, it's sold out. So it's also a question like to know why we need like validation.
As Khadija plays with ideas, patterns, and different cuts, she uses her creations as a statement, championing for Africa, its story, its resilience, and its products, with one clear message: to stay fierce and unapologetic.
Back to you, Nancy. Yes. Okay, do you think ZADS has had some influence on the design landscape in Zambia?
It definitely has, because it's challenging. The designers are coming with new designs. They're being bought, and customers, it challenges them to bring the next designs for customers, and that hence building the Made in Zambia brands.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Are there any hot exhibitors to look out for this year's show?
He's right here.
Ah.
Welcome, this is Rudolph Gems.
Fantastic.
So, welcome to Rudolph Gems.
Thank you.
Rudolph is a Zambian-based company, Zambian-owned, and everything that we're cutting is Zambian. Rudolph himself, myself, has been cutting stones for 17 years, locally trained, and what you see is born out of precision cutting and the love of Zambian emeralds, especially. But I'm a lover of all Zambian gemstones. We love cutting Zambian gemstones because we are trying to change the narrative. Most people don't think that Zambians can cut, especially precision cutting. So we are doing precision cutting from cabochons to faceted gemstones.
Thank you so much for your time, Nancy.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming.
We now join Sitabatso Khomari, who figures a holiday in Clarence, South Africa is just a thing, but she's not settling for ordinary.
For most Africans, going on holiday means going home. But what if we could offer you 3 unique places to get away from the bustle that I promise will surprise and delight you? I hate to admit it, but family reunions can be pretty exhausting. Where can you recharge your soul? I'll show you. Just a quick hour and a bit drive outside of Maseru on the South African side of the border is the picturesque village of Clarence. And to properly recharge, I'm going to need a place to sleep. We're going to start our adventure to explore some of the quirkiest holiday spots to be found in our backyard. Kicking off my quirky list, I found something that's cute, full of history, and perfect for a weekend getaway with my besties. Perfect for a solo trip, but with accommodation for 4, this is the ideal place for a girls' trip. Round the corner from the Clarence Town Square is Clarence House. What started off as a tiny mud-built garage, being one of the first buildings in Clarence, has been redesigned and expanded into this tiny self-catering unit that accommodates 4. Small and functional doesn't have to be tight and uncomfortable. In fact, this place is perfect for just me. I almost forgot, I promised to show you some more quirky options. What else is on the list? Our next quirky accommodation option is enough to make anyone feel like a princess. Welcome to Clarence Castle. There are 2 main fairy tale-like options here. The question is, which princess do you feel like? Both options are decadently opulent. Just being here makes me want to swoon and ring a bell for a butler and a million maids to come and fan me with a peacock feather or something while I sip on endless cocktails while having a massage. And can someone bring me a ball gown? You could be Rapunzel waiting from her ivory tower for Prince Charming to come and rescue her from boredom or whatever lonely princesses and towers do. For me, keep the world away and right. Perfect. Or you can stay in Aladdin's palace. This one appeals to the adventurer in me. Don't tell anyone, but I've been sitting on the different carpets trying to see if one of them will fly. Swoosh. Oh, this is self-catering accommodation. You can't possibly blame me for getting carried away. What's next? And if you thought that the castle was out of a dream, or you're the kind of person who loves the call of the open road, our next quirky accommodation option is just down your street. How about a night in a gypsy wagon? And no, you don't have to hitch your horse to it for an adventure. Come on, let's explore. Quirky, cute, and the perfect couple or singles getaway. Clarence's Gypsy Guest House has 4 gypsy wagons and 1 gypsy-themed camper van, offering an amazing alternative to conventional glamping. From the outside, each uniquely designed and crafted caravan looks like a fortune teller awaits you inside. But when you open the door, they are delightfully intimate with modern amenities such as a microwave, bar fridge, and Wi-Fi. So why would you want to stay in any of these quirky places? I can think of so many reasons, but top of my list, life's an adventure, so why do ordinary? If you're like me and your holiday accommodation isn't just a place you come to shower and sleep after a busy day of doing stuff, then you'll appreciate the uniqueness of each of these 3 venues I showed you today. I hope you had as much fun as I did, but don't tell my mom that I'm glad I chose to take a break away from home. My only challenge is I still don't know where I'm going to sleep.
We are now off to Benin, Nigeria, to meet an artist who uses bronze and sand to bring African stories to light in the most beautiful way.
In a world where art constantly evolves, how do you honor the past while shaping the future? Let's find out how Osaru Obaseki preserves the Nigerian bronze-making art in modern times.
I'm more of an experimental artist, and a lot of my work is based off of my medium and materiality, the way I use materials. I started experimenting with clay, started experimenting with making sculptures, and which other medium to make those sculptures in, if not bronze.
The technique of casting bronze using the lost wax technique is not traditionally practiced by women in Benin, and Osaru Obaseki has thus created a niche for herself in the contemporary art scene. The artist, who was born in Edo State, consciously fuses the old with the modern in her works and explores themes such as identity, heritage, and social change.
Historically, Benin women weren't allowed to cast bronze from the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th century in Benin. Currently, I think I'm one of the young female creatives whose work are in bronze. I am on a residency program for a couple of weeks to interrogate with the Benin Kingdom collections back at the museum and create a contemporary outlook. So I'm currently using the Luxwas process of bronze casting to create my work here.
The bronze casting technique in Benin uses sand, which for Osaru is a special feature of the ancient process. After making some traditional sculptures, she began to experiment and introduced acrylic to the process.
The process of bronze casting is actually very tedious because you go through a lot of processes before getting to your finished bronze cast. And first of all, modeling with clay, to create your design. Then you go in with your silicone, which is supposed to take the imprint of the design you've created. And then with the silicone, you create a mold, which you are supposed to take your second core print. With the wax, that's when you do your third pouring with your POP. So as contemporary artists, or I as a contemporary artist, I use the POP as a mold. And traditionally, the Igbo bronze casters use same red earth as taking their mold and core. For the wax, you could use beeswax or candle wax, depends on how you're detailing, the kind of detailing you want on your work. Then for glass, I think my first contact with using glass was during my residency in Venice, in Italy. So that was the very first time I found out that you can actually cast glass. When I came in contact with the medium glass, I wanted to experiment as somebody who likes experimenting a lot. And I already had models already on ground, so I was like, okay, I could as well just cast them in glass. And that is how I went into glass casting as well.
Osaru's aim was never to recreate the Benin bronzes, but rather to find out how heritage shapes contemporary African identity, which is why the lengthy, traditional process is an indispensable part of her work.
In terms of having like creative blocks, I think that is very normal and regular, and it's always there for artists. Sometimes you want to get clay. The clay is not usually readily available. And that also extends to materials like bronze as well. Sometimes even the price of bronze has skyrocketed over time. And sometimes when you need bronze to work, they're not available.
Although Osaru's sculptures and paintings appear modern, they carry a hint of retrospective. She achieves this impression, for example, through the stylization of the faces. To what extent does her work thus challenge misconceptions about African art?
Preserving African heritage through bronze casting and even through my sand paintings, they are both quite important to me because of posterity's sake, for the people who are going to come after us, for people who be in my shoes in the future, to wanting to have a sense of identity and wanting to find themselves and going back to their roots. They should have materials they can go back to in understanding who they are. So that's why it's quite important. This is one of my bronze pieces. This is also part of the wall series because you can see the wall lines around the coats he's wearing. So biblically, when you hear about the coat of many colors, I use that as an inspiration to create this piece. So this is called the coat of many lines, referring to the Benin walls.
The idea of transformation is at the heart of Osaru's work. Her sculptures often depict fragmented forms that symbolize the ruptures caused by colonialism, social change, and identity struggles. But there is also a sense of healing in her work, a piecing together of the broken, a reinterpretation of wholeness.
And that's our show. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit us up on the socials. Until next time, it's goodbye.
James Akbarshe arrives for a checkup at the community medical center in Dadere, but it's not for his health. The student journalist is there to see how well the government-run center in Nigeria's central Nasarawa state is working. It's part of an initiative called Udeme, an Ibibio word for My Share. It sends student journalists, known as U-monitors, to investigate public projects and hold authorities accountable.
Sometimes you travel to those communities where those projects have been awarded. You discover that those residents don't want to talk to you because they have no idea of those projects. So you face challenges, maybe sometimes threats to your life. And when a lawmaker find out or individual find out you are doing a story that will implicate him.
The Media Non-Profit Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development, or CJID, launched Udeme in 2018. It recruits about 100 students like Akbashi each year. They track public infrastructure projects like the construction of schools and hospitals. And they talk to residents about what they find.
So our youth monitors are fluent in the local dialect in those places. So when they go on radio shows, they speak in those local dialects so that people can understand the relevance of the topic that we're talking about. And we see them calling in after the program.
Nigeria ranks 145th out of 180 countries on the Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index. The CGID says ignorance is often why public officials are not held accountable. At a visit to Nigeria's Independent Corrupt Practices Commission in February, authorities pledged their support.
The issue of corruption and corrupt practices is a problem. We will always continue to work with you.
CJID says its approach brings change and could be model other media should follow. The initiative brings results. When Akbashi first visited this health center, it was not operational. A few months after he reported on it, the government opened the hospital to the community, a small step to holding public officials accountable. Timothy Obiezu, VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live, and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Initiative Africa, the program that shines a spotlight on the women, men and projects shaping the continent's future. Today we focus on financial inclusion, and with our guest we dive into a system many of us know very well, tontines, traditional savings groups deeply rooted across Africa. But first, here are the headlines of this edition. He wants to transform the way Africans save and open the door to investment across.
Our ambition is to allow tontine members to make their savings productive.
Rendre leur épargne productive.
Improving financial inclusion without compromising customer security, a major new challenge for Africa's banking sector.
The biggest challenge we face is scammers. We are constantly looking for ways to avoid their traps. Banks often invite us to seminars to educate us on how scammers operate, such as sending fraudulent texts.
And finally meeting the energy, agricultural and security challenges facing Africa. This is the ambition driving a new generation of engineering students in Douala.
I'm passionate about energy and in particular renewable energy and the idea of creating a startup in this field which will help to exploit the hydrographic power of our country more globally, of the sub-region and of the continent is something I'm looking forward to and which I will be proud of tomorrow.
Despite a more challenging funding environment, Africa's fintech sector continues to grow at a rapid pace. A recent report by the European Investment Bank highlights that this growth is largely driven by digital finance. Last year, Africa counted 1,263 companies operating in this segment compared to just 450 in 2020. Mobile networks offering financial services from accounts opening to deposits, withdrawals and loans now allow millions of users to manage their economic activities directly from their mobile phones, a boost for national economies but also an opening for fraud. Tanzania provides a telling example of how technology can improve financial inclusion while raising new risks. For over 9 years, Ramdani Togolani has served as a bank agent, assisting more than 100 customers daily. He highlights how bank agencies have made it easier for people to access their money regardless of location.
The majority of our clients are government and private sector officials who receive their monthly payments between the 20th and 10th of each month. Business people, however, use our services daily. As a result, bank agency operations are especially busy during this period.
Togolani views financial inclusion as a gateway to employment opportunities, noting that many young people have found jobs in the financial sector. However, he acknowledges the persistent issue of fraud.
The biggest challenge we face is scammers. We are constantly looking for ways to avoid their traps. Banks often invite us to seminars to educate us on how scammers operate, such as sending fraudulent texts. Even the police send us alerts to keep us informed.
For customers like Tobias Musalu, bank agency services offer a sense of security. Before using these services, he stored his money at home in a small box where it was vulnerable.
I prefer using bank agents because my money always enters through banks. So if I have my bank account, it has been easy for withdraw my money anywhere. When I see the agencies, I use them to have my money in my hands mostly. That's why I prefer to use bank agents.
In contrast, Ms. Sekela Richard, a tailor for over 5 years, finds mobile money services more convenient because of their accessibility.
Since 5 years ago when I started my business, I've been using mobile phone transaction services because it is efficient and convenient for me. It's easy because the services are near wherever I am. I can get the services, and when you're dealing with money, you really need to have a proper way of storing the money and the proper way to actually do transaction formally for reference. So having my money stored within my home or my business place was risky because it's easy if anything happens like robbery or any other issue that may lead for me to lose my money. It's hard for me to track or to get a reference or to be able to get it back quickly.
Despite growing competition in the financial sector, Catherine Rutange, head of agency banking at CRDB Bank, sees demand continuing to rise. She believes the vision should extend beyond competition, ensuring all Tanzanians have access to affordable and reliable financial services. CRDB Bank is prioritizing rural areas where access to financial services is still limited.
When you are looking at rural areas, for us, we are following the cash corridors. So in rural area, there are certain economic activity that are happening on their day-to-day lives. So what we do, we are providing services that are going to allow us to engage and work with them and assist them to access those services that they do on a daily basis. Let's say most people from rural areas are agriculturists. So we went far ahead and create some accounts that will be catering for that particular segment of customers.
These free farms accounts have become increasingly popular in rural areas, reversing a long-standing lack of access to financial services. Enhancing financial inclusion in these regions could unlock significant opportunities. According to the 2022 Tanzania census, 40 million of the country's 61 million people live in rural areas. With mobile phone penetration at 83.66% in 2023, this well-connected rural population could be a key driver of Tanzania's economic development.
Africans save on average 20% of their country's GDP. While many turn to mobile money applications, tontines remain the continent's preferred savings vehicle. Yet today this traditional model is no longer fully suited to Africa's modern economic needs. To discuss this transformation, we met financial expert Emmanuel Turpin, who is launching the Tonti Capital platform this year. He explained to Laurent Soustras how he plans to mobilize African savings and turn them into a powerful lever for development.
Emmanuel Turpin, hello. Welcome to Initiative Africa.
Bonjour.
Can you introduce Tonti Capital?
Tonti
Capital is a secure digital platform designed to transform tontines into collective investment vehicles. In practical terms, we connect tontines to financial markets through professional, regulated, and supervised asset managers. Our ambition is to allow tontine members to make their savings productive.
Rendre leur épargne productive.
There's the word tontine in Tonti Capital.
Tout à fait.
Can you remind us of the origin of tontines in Africa? Are they found across the entire continent?
Relativement, oui.
Relatively, yes. It is difficult to assign a precise origin to tontines, even though authorship is often attributed to Lorenzo Tonti in the 17th century. But clearly, tontines existed long before him. Let me give you a simple example. In villages in the past, after harvest season, families would set aside part of their crops in a shared granary. This was to prepare for hard times, such as drought, and also to help families who had poorer harvests. That is already a form of tontine. In reality, the tontine was not created out of nowhere. It appears wherever solidarity becomes necessary, wherever banks are absent, whenever communities organize collectively to solve problems. So giving an exact origin date is very difficult. What is certain is that it is an ancient mechanism that has endured over time and taken different forms across generations.
Are there regional differences?
Tout à fait, parce que
Absolutely. There are several types of tontines. The most common today is the rotating tontine. But there are tontines used to finance events, equipment, or specific projects. Some compensate their managers, others are free. Some operate with interest, others without. The configurations vary widely depending on the society. There are many different forms.
Originally, tontines were based on community solidarity. Later, they evolved into money tontines, a kind of rotating saving scheme, as you mentioned. What are the advantages and limitations?
Alors, l'avantage d'une tontine, c'est déjà l'accès.
The main advantage is immediate access to liquidity. By participating, you commit to receiving a fixed amount at a specific time. It is something you plan in advance. It helps solve short-term needs.
Vous avez préparé. L'avantage, c'est de pouvoir.
The tontine operates like a social algorithm. It is based on trust, reputation, dignity, and even shame if someone fails to pay. There may now be legal recourse in some cases, but because the mechanism is informal, unwritten, and untraceable, it creates legal uncertainty. That leads to the disadvantages A tontine works well to finance education, buy land, or cover urgent expenses, but it does not allow scaling unless participants contribute very large amounts, and the capital does not generate returns. One of the major limitations we observed is that Africa needs financing and resources. The capital exists, but it operates parallel to the formal financial system. So we needed a way to channel it and connect it to regulated markets. Our goal is not to replace banks. We are an alternative to financial exclusion. Tontine members keep their habits. They retain liquidity for immediate needs, but they can invest part of their savings to generate returns, finance the real economy, and create tangible impact in their communities.
So that is what you achieved with Tonti Capital. How does it work concretely?
Without going into technical details, since the platform is still under development, here is the basic principle. Imagine a rotating tontine with 10 members. Each contributes 100 euros. That creates a pot of 1,000 euros. Each member receives the full 1,000 euros in turn. That is the traditional system.
La première cotisation, elle est toujours investie. De sorte que quand vous recevez votre tour, vous recevez N-1. Donc,
with our model, the first contribution is invested. So when it is your turn, you receive N-1. You receive 900 euros. But the 100 euros you invested remains invested. You can track it on the platform. You can see where it is allocated, the return generated, and the impact created.
Ça dépend quelle catégorie de fonds c'est, dans quel domaine ça investit. Mais vous pouvez vous rendre compte que le secteur dans lequel il investit.
An investment fund can invest across many sectors, depending on its strategy. But you can choose impact sectors aligned with your values. You can see the real effect of your investment. The tontine becomes the investment vehicle. It moves from informal status to formal, even institutional status. It is already a financial product, but informal. We formalize it, giving it all the benefits and potential of modern finance. In the future, it could even lead to derivative products.
De sorte qu'on pourra même en faire demain des produits dérivés.
Are you seeking to boost your business in Africa and Europe? Increase your visibility with business frequency thanks to our network of national television channels in more than 40 countries. Every week, more than 100 broadcasts across Africa, the Indian Ocean and Europe. Don't miss this unique opportunity. Contact us now and put your brand into the spotlight.
Welcome to the second part of our program. Before returning to our guest Emmanuel Turpin, we take you inside the training of those preparing Africa's future. Between the strong momentum of startups and the opportunities created by the African Continental Free Trade Area, the continent needs an increasingly skilled workforce. But where and how are Africa engineers trained? This is a key question, including for European universities, which are expanding partnerships with African campuses. In Douala, Cameroon, our correspondent Maxime Faralbonia met with a group of young engineers determined to play a role in the renewable energy revolution. Take a look.
Kevin, a young engineering student majoring in general engineering in the international and innovation field, has been striving to tackle hunger in his country, Cameroon mainly, and also in Africa more generally. He and his classmate students at the UCAC Institute, the Catholic University of Central Africa, and the ICAM, group of French engineering schools, have just designed a drone with the capacity to boost the development of agriculture and hopefully do more.
Agribusiness is part of the culture of Cameroon today. It is the backbone of our economy, and using rural materials does not allow us to be productive and competitive in the market. Using a drone, for example, is a solution to bring more efficiency. We also thought that the drone would be suitable for taking pictures in different situations in case of disasters or other problems, a piece of equipment that can go where a man cannot and provide us a global picture of the situation.
With at least 905 students spread over the Douala campus in Cameroon and Pointe-Noire in Congo for the past 21 years, the UCAC ICAM Institute, with the support of numerous partners in the CIMAC zone and the Democratic Republic of Congo, has been providing students with 5 years of professional training as general engineers who can intervene in most areas. Kevin, like Maela, a student in the same school specializing in process engineering, intend to fight against global warming at the origin of the climatic changes and upheavals that led to floods or droughts in Africa. For these young engineers, renewable energy, for example, can be part of the solution.
I'm passionate about energy and in particular renewable energy and the idea of creating a startup in this field which will help to exploit the hydrographic power of our country more globally, of the sub-region and of the continent is something I'm looking forward to and which I will be proud of tomorrow.
The world today is subject to many constraints, whether climatic or environmental. All this is due to global warming and the abusive use of fossil fuels. So our solutions are part of the ecological transition from fossil fuels to green energy. Why do we do this? To reduce our environmental impact, to reduce our CO2 production, to limit the greenhouse effect, and to be part of a sustainable development framework. Brian is another young engineer with big ambitions who works on cybersecurity. He plans to work on protecting data and information vital to protect the country's security.
It is
a question, especially in African context, of being able to secure our information here and not just exporting it abroad to secure it. We can do it ourselves here. What I want to bring is, first of all, my expertise to show that all these banks, which are here in Africa, can test the equipment. For example, we can just easily do it here locally without necessarily bringing in foreign consultants or deploying the application to the foreign services to test it. My objective is to set up a protocol made by us Africans to encrypt information, better so that a third party cannot read the communication.
The acquisition and integration of knowledge and skills also relies on the quality of grassroots training.
We teach our students to learn continuously. We give them the tools to be in a long life learning cycle, upskilling and moving up the ladder, particularly through active learning in the skill-based and project-based approaches. This allows them to be relatively autonomous in their learning processes, autonomous in their approach to problems and autonomous in resolving situations. We want our engineer to have the capacity to deploy themselves in all different disciplines, industrial, scientific, and even technical. We must instill in our engineer the ability to be up-to-date in terms of hindsight on society and the need to which they can provide solutions and produce value.
Beyond the genius, the will and the determination sometimes inspired by the models, these young engineers will need more to impact the development of African countries efficiently.
The different political systems should be designed in such a way as to allow young people like us to become entrepreneurs. But we also need the confidence of the various financiers and banks to access adequate funding and confidence to promote our abilities, because among ourselves we know that we are competent and capable of doing and making Africa proud. But for that to happen, we need to be given the means, we need to be given the opportunity, and we need to be trusted.
90% of the young engineers trained at this school are successfully integrated into the professional world. The UCAC ICAM Institute does not content itself with only growing its African Leadership Factory, but also offers non-compulsory exchange semesters from the 4th year onwards in the ICAM France sites or their partner universities worldwide. These young engineers generally work in their home countries. Some of them continue with a specialized master's or MBA to develop a specific skill abroad before returning home, while a small number prefer to start their professional career internationally.
We now return to our guest, Emmanuel Turpin, co-founder of Tonti Capital, who tells us how he came to combine law and finance in his professional journey. Let's listen to him. Emmanuel Turpin, today you are a lawyer in Luxembourg, but you are Senegalese and you studied in St. Louis. When did you first become interested in law and finance?
Je dois dire que j'ai atterri dans le droit un peu par hasard.
I must admit I entered law somewhat by chance. We receive strong academic training, but when it comes to university orientation, things can become unclear. After high school, I wanted to study in France, but lacked financial means.
J'ai rencontré M. Amadou Diao, qui était à l'époque le président du groupe ISM, qui est une business school.
I met Mr. Hamoudou Dao, then president of ISM Group, a leading business school in West Africa. He encouraged me to enroll. After passing the entrance exam, I obtained a 3-year scholarship and completed a degree in business law and management, alongside a private law degree in partnership with the University of Toulouse.
Partenariat avec l'Université de Toulouse. Donc, ayant réussi cette licence, j'ai atterri à Toulouse, mais je ne savais toujours pas ce que...
After graduating, I moved to Toulouse, still unsure about my career path. During my master's program, I took a financial law course with Professor Julien Terran. That was the turning point. I immediately knew this was what I wanted to do. I then applied to a master's program in finance, project finance, and structured finance at the University of Nanterre. At the time, I did not necessarily plan to become a lawyer, but my studies opened my eyes to the global financial system, especially in Africa, and to products we use daily, but whose potential we do not fully exploit.
Notamment sur des produits sur lesquels on devrait travailler parce qu'ils existent, nous les pratiquons tous les jours, mais nous n'en exploitons pas le potentiel. Et donc aujourd'hui, on est dans un environnement où, quand on veut faire de la création...
Today, financial innovation is heavily regulated. Africa has specific development needs. To address them, we need flexibility in designing solutions. Developed countries had that flexibility in the past, sometimes learning through crisis. African financial professionals now face the challenge of innovating within a stricter framework.
Se cracher pour pouvoir trouver des solutions pour maintenant réglementer et éviter que ça ne se reproduise plus. Donc c'est particulièrement challenging pour les financiers africains, mais il faudrait qu'ils s'y penchent et qu'ils puissent trouver des solutions adaptées, quoi, tout simplement.
When you arrived in Luxembourg, did that help you adapt the tontine to modern finance?
Tout à fait. Arrivé au Luxembourg, je travaille sur des fonds d'investissement.
Absolutely. In Luxembourg, I work on investment funds. I specialize in funds designed for retail investors, ordinary individuals, not large institutions.
Personnes comme vous et moi, des particuliers. La finance étant très réglementée, en fonction du type d'investisseur, il y a des règles spécifiques qui s'appliquent.
Financial regulation varies depending on the investor profile. Working with retail structures created natural bridges with tontines, since they are also used by individuals.
Pour les particuliers et qu'on regarde la structure des tontines, L'enjeu était de trouver une façon.
By comparing the structure of regulated funds and tontines, the objective became clear: to allow tontine members to become investors in regulated vehicles already suited to their profile. Luxembourg gave me clarity on the legal compliance required to build that bridge.
Qu'il faut avoir du point de vue juridique pour pouvoir atteindre notre objectif de connexion.
From Luxembourg, what gaps do you observe in African finance?
La lacune principale que je vais citer, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, les étudiants africains connaissent très bien les produits structurés, dérivés américains, les obligations d'État européennes, les structures luxembourgeoises, mais
One major gap is that African students know American derivatives, European sovereign bonds, Luxembourg fund structures, but few study African financial products, like the tontine. That is problematic. Very few financial professionals have examined its intrinsic potential, how it works, or how to modernize it.
De ce produit, sur comment il fonctionne et comment on pourrait le moderniser, l'adapter, c'est qu'on a un réel problème. L'autre point, c'est que quand vous voyez comment les États empruntent au niveau des investisseurs internationaux, que ce soit sur le marché des eurobonds ou au niveau des institutions internationales comme le FMI, alors que vous voyez qu'il y a une économie parallèle avec des mécanismes comme les tontines, vous vous posez également des questions.
Another issue concerns sovereign borrowing. African states issue euro bonds or borrow from institutions like the IMF, while a parallel domestic capital system exists. Africa does not lack capital, it lacks structuring. The real challenge is how to structure domestic capital and connect it to modern finance that would strengthen negotiation power and help finance the real economy more effectively.
Plus d'assises financières pour financer l'économie réelle de notre continent, quoi.
What differentiates you from the other digital tontines?
Alors, deux choses. La première, c'est que des tontines digitales classiques.
Two things. First, many digital tontines already exist, such as Money Fellows, Motontini, or Circle in France. But to our knowledge, none are connected to financial markets.
Aucun projet, aucune tontine digitale qui soit connectée au marché financier. Donc, notre objectif est de permettre justement à la tontine de prendre...
Our objective is to elevate the tontine and make the connection with capital markets obvious. Savings remain secure, but part of the savings is invested. That changes everything. It brings depth to our financial markets. A few years ago, the BOVM celebrated a market capitalization of 10,000 billion CFA francs, roughly 15 billion euros. That is about the size of a single Luxembourg fund.
Et ont besoin de profondeur. Sans cette profondeur, les sociétés ne vont pas se coter suffisamment parce qu'elles n'auront pas forcément d'intérêt à le faire. Sans cette profondeur, on ne peut pas vraiment développer de produits.
Our markets are small. They need depth. Without depth, companies hesitate to list. Without depth, derivatives cannot develop. Without depth, sovereign bonds are mostly purchased by institutions, not individuals. Creating depth allows retail investors to participate. We simply need to change the way formal finance views African financial products. We must modernize them, adapt them, and allow them to scale.
De prendre plus d'altitude, quoi, tout simplement.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome again to Political Platform, a program that runs simultaneously on RAPA Radio and Africa Independent Television, AIT. My name is Amechi Anakwe. Now, for nearly 3 decades, yes, going towards 3 decades, the political relationship between two gentlemen, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and the man that deputized for him for 8 years, his former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has remained one of the most dramatic rivalries in Nigeria's democratic history. Dramatic in the sense that sometimes they appear to make up and sometimes there appear to be no love lost between them. Once political allies who jointly led the country between 1999 and 2007 as president and vice president, their partnership collapsed amid disagreements over power and the controversial third-term debate, setting the stage for years of bitter exchanges, political realignments, and even courtroom battles. Now, with the 2027 presidential election drawing closer, that long-standing feud, that conflict that has been known for nearly 3 decades has once again taking center stage. Fresh allegations and counter-allegations have dominated the political space based on the statements coming from these two statesmen, with Chief Obasanjo questioning Atiku's suitability for the nation's highest office, while the former vice president insists Obasanjo's renewed attacks are politically motivated, aimed at shaping the outcome of the 2027 presidential election. To examine the history, not just the history, the politics and the implications of this renewed face-off between two of Nigeria's most influential political figures, we will be joined by our guest today, Rima Shawulu, a politician, a former member of the House of Representatives, who will join us to offer perspectives for you to understand the history, the implications and the trajectory of this political feud and how it will shape the next presidential election. But before that, we will give you an update on the report that the federal government has given the presidential